Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I'm Nick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. I addressed this a few weeks ago, but I'm still so seething and so angry with the fact that Superman and Lois has been cancelled that I need to talk about this again by addressing James Gunn directly by tagging him on this video. He may see it, he may not, but I have to talk about this because the cancellation of Superman and Lois, a show in its prime, one of the most multi-layered, beautiful adaptations of Superman ever. It's brilliant. It's contemporary. It's emotional. It's bold. The Superman stuff, the action stuff is as cool as the emotional stuff. Now, Smallville is the daddy of comic book TV, but in terms of actually seeing a show about Superman, this show, Superman and Lois, is the best there's ever been. And we know from the CW president that the ratings are great, the sponsors are very happy with the show as well. Nobody on the television level wanted to cancel this show. The CW president has also confirmed that DC Studios, aka Peter Safran and James Gunn, don't want any competing properties. Well, that's interesting because the Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman of Colour movie after 6 years is still in active development. Maybe James and Peter can explain that. There's a Batman 2 in development from Matt Reeves. And then there's Brave and the Bold, also in development by DC Studios. Why are they allowed to exist and compete? And how can you have competing properties when it's all for the same company? It doesn't make sense. It seems to me, James, that you're a bit intimidated by this show, and maybe it may kind of make your own kind of ideas and adaptation for Superman look a little bit bad. Maybe you're worried about that because competing properties at the same studio, for the same comic book company doesn't really make sense. Let me give you a comparison. It's 2006, or let's go back to 2005, when Bryan Singer is announced to be directing and co-writing Superman Returns. He goes to Time Warner and WB, and he insists that Smallville is cancelled because he doesn't want a competing property. Now, Bryan Singer had more reasons to be worried and intimidated about Smallville than James Gunn and Peter Safran have got to be worried about Superman and Lois. It's a terrible decision. I've been re-watching Superman and Lois, the first season, this weekend. And as I say, it's so multi-layered. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. You just get sucked in. And a round of applause for Todd Helbing, who knows how to develop a superhero, a comic book television adaptation. He did it for 3 years over on The Flash. It was amazing. No one did a better job on that TV show than Todd. But he and Berlanti have outdone themselves with Superman and Lois. And to think that this show has been killed in its prime absolutely makes me angry. Listen, James, I'm not a hater of yours. I love your CBMs. They're great. I also don't think you're movie Jesus, but I think you do great CBMs with Peacemaker being your best work in the comic book kind of world. Amazing, amazing. Who can't cry when, an eagle or whatever it is, right? That, Peacemaker's pet, when he's talking to it and hoping he doesn't die. You'd have to be a soulless human being not to cry at that moment. So James Gunn has done great work there. But this cancellation of this amazing Superman adaptation is wrong. It's being watched. The network wants it, but you and Peter don't. Yes, and I know that Bitsy and Tyler stood on the stage at Comic-Con or wherever and said, oh yeah, we're handing over the baton. No one gives a crap about handing over the baton. There's no baton needing handing over. I'm disappointed with Superman and Lois fans who are not fighting harder for this show's future. Now, I know there's some applauding sills that love you, James, that are happy with this situation. I'm sitting on the fence with your DCU and your Superman movie. Superman is my man, he's my character. He's my favourite character in fiction. I want you to be successful, but I don't know if you will. but there's a serious situation here. That this show, a living, breathing, multi-layered adaptation, a brilliant adaptation of Superman, has been murdered in its prime. And James, I want you to seriously reconsider this wrong decision.